Hello everyone, welcome to Cabbage Patch Soap. My name is Laura, and today we will be making a pine tar soap. We will also be cutting the coconut soap from last live. It is a black coconut scented soap, and it smells really good. So I'm just getting my chat set up right now. Should just take a minute here. Okay. Alright, got that going. I'm just going to get my gloves on. We should be able to get started after. I hope everybody is having a great week. And if you've ever heard of pine tar soap, or if you've never heard of pine tar soap, I'd like to hear any questions or comments you have on the subject. Hi Barb, welcome. Okay, just about got these gloves on. Just trying to straighten out the camera too. I'm going to see if I can get it to cooperate. There we go, that's better. All right, let me go ahead and open this. And we will first slice up the soap from Monday's live. So here it is. Hi Beat and Crazy, welcome. All right, here is the soap. So if you remember, it was a black soap. I put these lines down the center, and we also put on a little bit of sparkle mica on the top, and it gave it a cool, like almost like spooky, like light coming through the trees look. And we also made an individual bar, which I will take out in a second. I'm just going to try to unmold this without damaging the design. It looks like it did volcano a little bit in the center. You can see that bulge right there on the top and the crack going through it, and that's pretty normal. When soap goes through the saponification process, it gets hot, and sometimes that hot causes it to volcano in the middle, and it can bulge up and crack. And it doesn't do anything to the soap. It's just something that sometimes happens, and it looks pretty cool. Hi, Lorna, welcome. All right. Oh, this smells really, really good. If you like warm, vanilla-y kind of scents, you'll really like this one. This one it's definitely coconut, but it's like a coconut vanilla, very, very light floral in the background. It's not floral. I'm sorry, I meant cedar in the background. It's not very, like, there's nothing overpowering about this. It just smells really, really good. And like I said, it's got like that warm vanilla type scent. All right, I'm just going to line this up real careful here. Okay. Whoops, we're just going to cut through this. Oh, you like the body butter. I'm glad you like it. Hi, India, welcome. Yeah, the body butter is great. All right, so here's how it looks on the inside. No surprise here. It was black soap, so we got black soap. But I will be beveling down the edges and stuff when I finish it later. And then you got this simple but elegant sparkly top here. I'll show you the others anyway. But yeah, the body butter is really, really nice. I like it sometimes in the summer, if my hands get dry, I like to use it. I put it in the freezer or in the fridge, and it's really cold, and that way when you put it on, it has like this cooling effect because it's cold. And there's that side of that one. Looks like I dented it with my nail. There we go. And of course, I always plane off the sides to make them smooth later on. And here are the sample pieces, which we'll cut up for samples later. And this was made with the 3 butter recipe. So this one has shea butter, mango butter, and cocoa butter in it. Looks like a chocolate brownie. Yeah, it does. In fact, if you like soap that looks like chocolate, the soap we're making today is all kinds of chocolate. It doesn't have any chocolate in it, though. Well, that's not true. It has cocoa butter in it, but it doesn't have, it's not chocolate scented or anything. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the shelf. And I better make a spot for it, because I forgot to. Let's see. Oh, there's a spot right there. I could just use that. All right. I'm going to put it a little bit further back so that the soaps don't touch any other soaps, because that charcoal, the black comes from the activated charcoal we put in it. And I thought it was appropriate too because the activated charcoal actually comes from coconuts that are burned. And this is a coconut scented soap, and it has coconut oil in it. All right. All right, so that is all put away. And then we need to get out the individual bar. You like eating chocolate? Yes, I can agree. All right, and here's the individual bar. And we're just going to pop that out. These bars have a really creamy feel to them because of all the butters and stuff in them. That's how that looks. So I'll put this away. And I don't know, I'm assuming we'll have enough of this left over to this next soap that we're making. Enough batter to left over. So I'm going to save this individual mold, keep it out with me so that we can put any leftover batter in there. All right. Okay. And let me clean off the slicer. Let's see here. Let me just clean this off real quick. And I want to make sure to get this a little cleaner than normal so that I don't put black streaks through the next soap I cut. Oh, the next soap I cut is going to be the one we're making today. I don't think black streaks would even be noticeable. So this might be a waste of time, but okay. That seems pretty good. I'm going to actually change out my gloves because I don't want this getting on the new soap. Oh, you like the Japanese cherry blossom? Yeah, I made a couple different kinds. Made that one, and Love Spell was the other one. It's nice this time of year because it doesn't melt as much in the shipping. Okay, so just getting this cleared off. Oh, and I forgot my paper. I have a paper I brought that I printed. One moment. I'll be right back. There we go. Oh yeah, you got the 2 glow-in-the-dark bars? I love the way those smell. That's one of my friends. That Comfort and Joy is one of my friend's favorite fragrances. And Love Spell is actually another one of her favorites. Love Spell smells like, how to explain? It's a very like fresh, youthful scent. It's got some florals and fruit notes in there. It's really, really, really good. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. I'm just putting these gloves on. And I will show you, first of all, the oils that we'll be using today. Yeah, Barb, the body butter is really good. It's like, think of it like a lotion, except it's super concentrated. It's really thick. And you just need a tiny bit. I used to put it on my elbows because I used to have really dry elbows. So that's one, it's one use for it. Um, but yeah, people put it on their hands. Some people put it on their feet at night before they go to bed. Just be really careful because it'll make your feet slippery. So I recommend if you do that, you put socks on over the top. But it'll give you really, I mean, I can't make any medical claims or anything like that, but it's basically like lotion, but it's thicker and richer and you don't need as much. There's no fillers, so there's no wax, no water, nothing in it that can Let me show you. But yeah, there's nothing in it to like water it down essentially. And I have a jar of it here. So it comes in these little jars like this. They're glass, so you can reuse them. And they're small enough to where you could put it in your purse, but you don't want to let it get exposed to heat at all. So you don't want to ever leave this in your car or go anywhere warm with this. It melts at body temperature, so when you put it on your skin, it just melts away. So all it takes is setting it out, like literally just setting it in the sun. The sunlight will melt it, even on a cold day. So you want to be real careful with it. But um, anyways, I really like body butter. Hi, Patty. Welcome. Okay, so this is the oil blend that we have for this soap. This is pine tar soap. So in here I have the pine tar, and the explanation for this video is going to be a little bit longer than normal because this is a totally new recipe, and I want you guys to know what's going in here. So pine tar looks like this. It comes in this really cool looking tin that has these clasps on top. So even though this is like a paint tin where you have to hammer down the lid, they don't think that that's secure enough, and they actually put these little, on mine anyway, they put these little metal clips on there extra. And there's a picture of a horse on here because this is used to help condition the hooves of horses. And anyways, this is 100% pine tar. So if you are going to use pine tar in your soap, you have to make sure it's 100% pine tar. It doesn't have anything weird in it. And you can get it at different places. You can get it online. You can get it anywhere that sells like equine supplies. Places like Tractor Supply might have it, or any other kind of like farm supply type store. And oh wow, Patty, 17 hours. That's a long day. Use it on your horses to keep bugs away. You know, and a lot of people think that this smells bad, but I opened the tin and I was like, it doesn't. It just smells like pine. So actually, I wouldn't. How does it keep the bugs away? That's interesting. I would never have thought to use it for that, but um, I felt like it smelled good. It would attract bugs if anything. Okay, so what you got to do to for this recipe, um, the first thing is that the pine tar needs to be warmed up a little bit because it's really thick like molasses, and I want to blend it with the oils before turning this into soap. And this is going to accelerate. This is going to turn from liquid to thick soap in a matter of seconds. So I'm going to explain everything ahead of time. And let's see. Oh, long midweek. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe you're already working. I'm just a wimp though, so that's probably why. All right, so this has a couple. I got a list here that I printed out because I wouldn't have remembered it off the top of my head. Um, so first of all, pine tar, when used on skin, and this is I had to start with this. I'm going to read off some benefits of the different oils and things that are going into this. But this is soap, okay? So the only thing I can't legally claim this is going to heal you or anything like that. This is just what the individual ingredients can do or what is believed they could do. But soap is a wash off product. So you put it on your hands, then you wash it off. So there's really no way to gauge like how much it's going to help because it's only on your hands for a few seconds usually. Um, so these benefits are for the individual ingredients, and you can make your own conclusions based on what I'm giving you. All the stuff I looked up online, a lot of this information you can find on places like Very Well Health, or like PubMed, other places like that. So the pine tar, some of the benefits of that is that it's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antifungal. It can also be used as a topical treatment for eczema, psoriasis, and dry, flaky skin, as well as other skin conditions. But that is the pine tar being used as in some sort of like an ointment situation. Also, always consult your doctor. Don't like buy the soap and use it and think it's like instead of healthcare. It's not. This is just, I know that if you have dry skin, that especially soaps from the grocery store, is going to it's going to irritate your skin and make things worse. So if anything, this should irritate your skin less, but I can't guarantee this is going to heal anything. So always consult your doctor first. Okay. So that's just what I got for the pine tar, the individual ingredient pine tar. We will also be putting in here calendula oil, which is this here. This is calendula oil. It's an essential oil. Um, and this is off of Very Well Health. It's found to be wound healing, and it's good for skin health. It's anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, has other benefits. It's really good for the skin. And then borage seed oil, which is this, and it helps with skin problems and joint pain. According to, I forget where I found that information. I just looked a lot of this up online, and um, unfortunately didn't write down all the resources. But if you look them up, if you just go to Google, you'll find all this. All right, there's also going to be some eucalyptus oil, which is here, and eucalyptus essential oil. It helps strengthen the skin's natural moisture barrier. So, and by the way, in case I didn't mention this beforehand, pine tar soap is supposed to be, people who have dry skin really like this. So that's why we're making this. It's getting to that time of year where people's skin gets kind of dry. So, all right, so the next one on the list is peppermint oil. I have this peppermint oil. It's another essential oil. It soothes irritation and inflammation and itchiness of skin. So if you have any of those problems, peppermint oil has been known to help with those things. I don't know again how much that's going to help in soap, but all right. The next one is orange oil. So this is sweet orange oil. Helps promote clarity, fights inflammation, helps keep skin fresh. And lavender essential oil, which is soothing to the skin. We'll also be using jojoba oil, which I put the jar away or the jug away, but it's a natural source of vitamin E. It's a humectant. Humectant means that it attracts moisture to the skin. It's also very soothing on the skin, and I got all this information off of Healthline, so you can get that off of there if you want to go look it up. Let's see here, and then also in the lye water, I put some aloe, which is soothing and moisturizing. We will also be using colloidal oatmeal, which is moisturizing and protecting. And colloidal oatmeal is ground really, really, really fine so that it's not scratchy. Um, it's like a super fine powder. It's in here, and I think I put it on the bottom. So, or did I? See, it's so fine. No, it's on the top there. It's like really like fine, like a powder. Okay. There is also in the lye water. I put honey. It's a local raw honey that I get from a local beekeeper. We'll also be putting kale and clay. Kale and clay is mixed in here. It's underneath the oatmeal. And kale and clay is a deep cleansing clay, but it does it without drying out the skin. So this is not a drying type clay. So this should not make you feel more dry. And of course, with the pine tar. So those are all the things in here. Your dogs have eczema. Okay, India. Let me see here. What about using it on your dog? Okay, so I actually have a pet bar that I made, and it has oils and essential oils that are safe for dogs. So most oils, even if like the dogs, like it shouldn't be given to dogs, it's assumed that you're feeding it to them. Okay, so if it says like dogs will, this oil is poisonous to dogs, they're assuming you're feeding it to them. But I know that some dogs will lick themselves, and just in case there's any, I mean, I don't think there'd be enough there to hurt the dog, but just in case, you never want to risk making your animal sick. So I would have to research all these oils and double check and make sure they're safe for dogs. But I do have a oatmeal and it's an oatmeal and charcoal bar. In fact, I think I still have it on my shelf. I made a few. I actually used, in fact, this bar I actually used to bathe my cat. So, let's see, is this it? I have a couple here. And I have two different recipes. It has a very like herbal smell to it. Okay, I think that's my rosemary bar. Okay, so this one, whoops. It's this here. It's like a charcoal bar. The charcoal is good because it really helps the dog get clean. Um, a couple of things if you're going to be bathing your own dogs, because I actually used to do that. I had a job bathing dogs, so I can tell you a couple of things about it. First is that whenever you bathe your dog or cat, or probably any pet, but dogs and cats specifically, because that's what I've done. The first time you shampoo them, so you get them wet, you lather them up and rinse them. You've only removed like the top layer of dirt and grime and whatever, if that. Especially, it doesn't really matter the type of coat your dog has, but if it has a double coat, whether it's short or long, if it has a double coat, a lot of times the water and soap didn't even reach all the way down to the skin in all the places, because that undercoat, or the way that a double coated dogs work is some of the hairs repel water, and it's even worse. And so there are short hair dogs as well, or like single, like not double coated dogs, basically, that it differs like the same way. So you might have to bathe, you might have to lather them and rinse them multiple times to really get all the way down to the skin. So um, the first thing is, you want to, no matter your dog's coat, you want to shampoo them at least twice, because no matter what, the first shampoo just removes like the top layer of grime and stuff. The second layer, or sorry, the second shampoo gets, especially if they don't have like a super thick or double coat, and if you're really, really thorough the first time, the second shampoo gets all the way down and really cleans them off much, much better. So if your dog already has a skin condition, if you ever bathe them, you have to bathe them at least twice, because if you don't, if you only rinse them, if you only, shampoo and rinse them one time, then um, the water, like when you go to dry them off after, it's going to take longer to dry them because there's oils on the skin and the coat that hold on to that moisture, and they'll never get fully dry, or it'll take a very long time. They're not going to dry fast enough, and then the moisture that's against the skin is going to irritate and cause, if it doesn't, if the dog doesn't already have skin problems, it can cause skin problems. And if the dog does have skin problems, it's going to exacerbate that, it's going to make everything worse. So you have to shampoo them at least twice every bathing. And if you're not sure, bathe them a third time, as long as the shampoo that you're using isn't super stripping and super like um drying, like it's not a super cleansing drying shampoo. If it's made specifically for dogs or anything like that, you're okay. Bathe them 2 or 3 times. If they're dirty, especially if they're dirty, like they've gone outside, they got mud on them, bathe them 3 times. Like the lather, rinse, lather, rinse, lather, rinse 3 times. And then if your dog has any kind of like medicated, like topical ointments or whatever, you could put those on. It depends. Follow the instructions of any kind of medication you get, if it's supposed to be put on when the fur is wet or when it's dry. Um, but after that, after you've washed them the full like 2 or 3 times, then you got to dry them out completely. You got to make sure you get under the armpits and between the toes, and anywhere there's folds in the skin. Like if you have a Shar-Pei or something, you got to get inside all those folds. Um, and you got to get the dog completely bone dry, because if you don't, all that moisture again is going to sit on the dog's skin and just cause irritation and make things worse. So that's the main thing. But the cleaner the dog is, the faster it's going to dry afterwards. And so that's the main thing. So the reason, so getting all of that to say that those bars of soap, I put charcoal in them because the charcoal really helps get the dog clean. And that way you're not having to bathe 4, 5, 6 times. You really want the dog to go through as few shampoo and rinse cycles as possible to get them clean, but you need at least two in every situation. So um and that's the same thing I do for the cats, the same thing I do for everything. And you can tell the difference, especially if you've been bathing your dog for a while. If you bathe them and rinse, and you've done that a few times, you'll notice as soon as you start bathing and rinsing 2 or 3 times that they feel clean afterwards. They don't have that, like dogs have. Well, I think all mammals really, they have like an oil that they produce, and when you get them really clean, you won't feel that oily buildup on their fur after they dry. So you'll be able to tell the difference. So, anyways, long rant, but it's, I think a lot of people just don't realize it if you don't, bathe dogs normally. Hi, Wanda, welcome. All right, I'm just double checking something. Okay, so sorry about that little side trip. But yeah, I do have a dog soap recipe we can use. I can double check the oils on this to see if it's safe to use on dogs. Um, and if it is, then I'll definitely let you know. But this has a lot of like essential oils and stuff. This was intended to be made for people, so I will double check though for you. Okay, so now because the pine tar is already in here, as soon as I add the lye water to this and start stirring, it's gonna basically turn into soap. So I got to get everything kind of prepared here. There's this mold, and I got this sample, or not sample, excuse me, individual bar. We'll probably put it, get all the dust out. Why is, oh, that's not dust, that's soap. Okay, anyways, I'll put it in one of these. There's that, and I'm going to mix in, these are all the essential oils and the jojoba oil that I already measured out ahead of time, because it would have been a pain watching me do that. So there's that. Set that aside, and I'm just going to mix this in with the oils. And this is warm, so it's a good thing that, like, we had that talk, because this is cooling down. The warmer the oils and the lye and everything is, the faster this is going to turn solid. So, oh, you're welcome, guys. Hopefully that information was helpful. Sometimes I ramble on and I don't know if it's helpful or not, but yeah, that's another thing too. By the way, if you take your dog to a groomer, make sure they're doing a thorough. Now, some of them have equipment. We'll have, like, we had one. It was like this will be quick, I'm sorry, but it's like basically a hose that attaches to like a container full of like soapy water, and then we ran that through the dog. Um, that's a different like style of bathing. It's not like a lather and rinse sort of a thing, and that's a little bit different. But if you are taking your dog to a groomer or having somebody wash the dog, and if they're doing the typical, get the dog wet, use the shampoo or soap or whatever on them, and then rinsing, they need to do it at least twice. If they're using the other method with the separate like soapy water container attached to the hose, and they're going like this over the top of the dog and everything, that's a little bit different, and the way it cleans is differently, and it's not they don't do the separate like lather rinse repeat thing, because the lather and rinse, or not the lather and rinse, but like I don't know, if you ever see it, you'll see what I mean. But it cleans the dog so thoroughly, that method, that they don't have to repeat it, because as they're going over the dog, it's continually doing like the lather and rinse cycle over and over, kind of. Anyways, oh yeah, and you guys, link your channels, link your social media, anything that you'd like to share. We do like to share and support each other, so please link all your stuff either in the live chat now, or if you're watching this afterwards, you can put it in the comments. And if it doesn't let you leave a link, put the name of your channel and where it is. And so, like, if you have like a Facebook or Instagram or whatever, let us know and tell us what it's called, so we can go look you up and support you. Okay, so this is the oatmeal and the kaolin. And I'm just going to add that in. Okay, I thought I saw something. There was nothing. It was a shadow. Okay, and I'm going to mix this in first, because I want this to be fully like mixed in, dissolved, incorporated. Another thing, if you are going to be making pine tar soap, so if you make soap and you want to make this, what I have been told, because I have not made this before, this is an experiment. I have been told that you want to keep your pine tar soap supplies separate from your regular soap supplies, because it smells really bad. This smell does not bother me at all, but I could see why it might bother some people, because it's very, very strong, like pine, very, very strong. And yeah, so if you don't want your soap tools to smell like this, you may want to have a separate thing. And in the spirit of that, I had a long time ago bought this. It's stainless steel, and we're going to be using this to make sure that hopefully that I get the oatmeal and everything mixed in fully, so there's no lumps. And I can see through the side of this, and I can see some lumps down in there. So we're just going to completely incorporate this. Okay, and then I'm going to also go around in the edges here and make sure there's no lumps, because we will not be using a stick blender for this, because apparently that will be a very bad idea from what I've seen and what I've been told. I think this is all mixed in. I'm not seeing any lumps or anything. Okay, good. So that's good. I've been told just use a spatula, but I have this. Oh, but I will get a spatula, because we need to be able to get everything out. So let me do that. We'll use our lovely stained spatula. Oh, and you know what? I should grab my face shield while I'm thinking about it. Since we're using the spatula or the whisk, I mean, to stir, instead of a um, instead of a stick blender, it's not nearly as important, but I still want to be careful. I'm just double checking over here to make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, I also put sea salt in here, and instead of the sugar, I put honey. And honey is supposed to be moisturizing and hydrating, so that's why I did that. All right, so I am going to put in the lye water. Now, this lye water, because of the honey, took on this dark honey color, and that is from the sugars caramelizing and stuff, and it is totally fine. So I'm just going to get this out of here. And once I pour this in and start mixing, I'm probably going to have to more or less immediately put it in here. So this is going to go fast. At least I hope. Honey is good for a lot of things. It is. Plus it tastes good, but don't eat the soap. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Oh, it's already thickening. I can feel the resistance now. It's getting all of that in here. So this lye water has in it. I have dissolved sea salt in there. I have honey, and I have sea salt, honey, and aloe. It's thickening. It's like thicker on the bottom and thinner on the top because I think I should probably switch to the spatula. Okay, this is going to look. Remember we were talking about chocolate earlier. This looks like caramel or chocolate batter, like almost like a cake batter. All right, this looks really good. See how thick that got? So this is not a soap where you can do, well, maybe you could. You could probably figure out a way, but like more than likely you're not going to be doing like fancy swirls and whatnot. Partly because, this is the color you've got, and partly because how thick it got. So we pour this in while it's still pourable. And when it cures, I'm told that you can actually smell some of the like essential oils and whatnot. Sometimes they come through, but it's always going to, from what I understand, it's going to always smell like the pine tar. But it's a really mild smell in my opinion. Wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting. I don't know what I expected, but I expected it to be worse than that. Let's see. Now it could just be that because I'm working around fragrances all the time that my sense of smell is broken, but but I don't know. It smells fine to me. And I even had to warm it. I had to warm it on the stove and everything, so the smell was it was strong in the sense that it was being warmed and whatever, but it wasn't strong like in a bad way. Okay, let me see if I can get this done. Okay, we got that kind of to fit in there, kind of, sort of. We're not going to fiddle with that anymore. Now let's make a pretty design on here. Oh, it's already, look how thick it is. Look at this. Maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't mess with it. Oh. I'm going to do something though. Oops. There we go. We got something. I don't know what you call that design, but it's something, I guess. I probably should have done that before making the other bar, but the other bar is already solid now, so what can you do? Let me scrape this off into here. Alright, so just putting this and see if I can get it off the side and onto the bar. Okay, kinda. It kinda worked. I should stop messing with this. This is gonna be my tester bar anyway. It's what I'll use to, test the soap and see what I think about it. And this should be ready to cut pretty soon. Oh, and let me tell you about this. Okay, the recipe. So we didn't talk about that. We just talked about all the fancy oils and whatnot that went in here. So the base recipe for this looks like the top of a Snickers bar. Yeah, there you go. It's chocolate. It says you don't mind the pine tar smell, but the ones your husband has like some pieces of pine in them. They were very scratchy on your skin. Yeah, there's no pieces of pine in this. Yeah, there's no the pine tar itself was like really, really like it's like molasses and completely smooth. I don't put anything scratchy in this one. It's got the kaolin clay, which is really powder. It's like a fine powder, and the oatmeal, which is ground down to a fine powder as well. So there shouldn't be anything scratchy in here at all. Um, I just want to eat it. You know, it does look really good. Let me take this headset off. I mean, face shield off. It looks really good. But I would not eat it as tempting as it is. I kind of want to smooth it out with. Oh yeah, that's working better than the spoon. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Should have done this from the beginning. All right, there we go. Smooth it out a little bit. There we go. The craggy tops look really cool, but a lot of times when I go to package them, they just get damaged. So, all right, I'm gonna leave this alone because otherwise I will mess with it forever. But yeah, so the recipe itself, like the oils for the base oils that went into this, is of course castor oil, coconut oil, olive oil, palm oil, the borage oil, which it's this one that I showed you earlier, the borage seed oil, and I put cocoa butter and shea butter in here, and the pine tar. So that's what I put. Um, and then I also have the essential oils that I mentioned earlier as well: the honey, the aloe, the sea salt, and I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. Oh, the oatmeal and the kaolin clay. So that is what is in here, and I'm just glad that that came together as well as it did. It's not as bad as honestly, I've had soaps that accelerated and were worse than this. So this was not nearly as bad as I was led to believe. But I guess if you're expecting something terrible, that it's like terrible as in like if you're expecting something to go super solid all at once, then this is definitely better than that. So nice chunky brownie, yes, exactly. Yeah, for junk food. Hard to resist the leftover Halloween candy. Oh, hey, that reminds me. I bet Wanda would like this. Or yeah, I bet you would. So I found these candies at the store today. They were on clearance. I'm like putting it by the light like it's gonna matter. But anyways, they have little bats on the wrappers, and the bats glow in the dark. And I was looking, I was like, that's really cute. They're really cute bats too. I don't know if the details are gonna come out in this. Oh, there they go. There we go. Oh, it focused. Wow, it focused. Has little feet on them and everything. I was like, you could cut those out and put them on something. They're really cute. They glow in the dark completely. They're really adorable. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of trick or treaters. We usually don't. I will also link down below in the information section below the video. I'll link the article about pine tar and its benefits and whatnot so you guys can see. Oh wow, Stacy, they closed your street down. That stinks. All right. So for I think I'm gonna decide. But Barb had suggested doing a Starry Night design. So I'm going to be planning to do that for Monday. I just haven't decided exactly how I want to do it yet, so I don't want to say anything. But we should do a Starry Night. And I think just reading what you guys are saying here about the candy. Not too many kids in the neighborhood. Yeah. One was an next door neighbor. That still counts though. Well, you guys, let me know if you have any other suggestions for soaps. If you want to see, recipes like this one where it's a crazy sounding recipe, any kind of like designs that you want to see, like the Starry Night. By the way, Barb, I just want to double check. Did you mean Starry Night as in like a night with stars in it, or do you mean Starry Night as in like the painting? Because those would look totally different. A Night with Stars in It. Okay, awesome. I can do that. That one. That yeah, I was thinking because I was like, I could do Starry Night, but I don't know the painting. Okay, but yes, I will do A Night with Stars in It. Good question. Yeah, I figured I didn't want to do the wrong one and then have you be disappointed. So, but yes, please, guys, leave comments. You can leave them in the live chat or in the comments down below if you are watching this later. Any suggestions you have for soaps, designs, fragrances, colors, recipes, anything. Even if you think it sounds weird, just post it. It might be actually doable. So, please leave comments and I will definitely make them if it's physically possible to do so. And if I have all the stuff, or if I can get the stuff. And so, yes, thank you, Barb, for your suggestion of Story Night. I will do that. And if you guys have any questions or anything, always feel free to ask. And I will see you all on Monday when we do the next live. And we will cut the soap on Monday, unless I will test the soap. If it gets to be too hard, like if it's going to get too hard to cut, I may have to cut it sooner and just show you afterwards. But as long as it doesn't misbehave, we'll be cutting it on Monday and then making the Starry Night. So have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a lot of fun. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you all soon.